What up, Gangnam Style? All right, let's get right into it, guys. It's time for your TLC Hiking Club weekly or bi-weekly vid clip. And let's talk about last weekend, first and foremost, the Half Dome trip. Phenomenal trip. Absolutely phenomenal in more ways than one. 18 of us went, and we had dialed this in, nearly a year ago since the plans were in the making. The permits were gathered at the front part of this year, and we endured that entire process. Quite the infrastructure it took on the planning, because we had to get hotel rooms immediately after we got the permits allocated to us, and hotel rooms were hard to come by as well, and they were very expensive because of where they were at. Anyhow, so 18 of us went. I think there was 12 of us that flew in on the same date. We left Friday morning, same flights, and flew into Fresno, which is just a tiny little airport nothingness out there in Fresno. No offense. Then from Fresno, we took a rental car, drove 2 hours north into Yosemite Valley, Yosemite National Park. Majority of us stayed at the Yosemite View Lodge, which is just outside of the park, about a 25-minute drive into the park. We stayed Friday night and Saturday morning, and we got up early. The idea was to plan on hiking by 5. We knew we were going to run a little bit late with some of the logistics and the windy, curvy roads and the parking, etc., etc. We actually started hiking at about 5:38 on Saturday morning, and quite the journey. This is probably the best hike I think I've ever done. Putting it up there with rim to rim and Havasupai Falls. It's in that category. Whether it's better or not better or what have you, it's in that same cluster of phenomenal, breathtaking hikes. That's for sure. You climb through Vernal Falls and Nevada Falls, which are breathtaking waterfalls. Amazing. And then once you get above those falls, it starts to thin out as far as tourists are concerned, thank God. And it ends up being a little bit over an 8-mile round trip to get to the summit. And the last half mile on the subdome, getting over the subdome, is pretty brutal. Very, very steep hike. And then, of course, once you come over the subdome, and you see what you're getting ready to go up. Very intense. I myself had underestimated the cables. The last 600 feet of vertical climb straight up the mountain face using cables. And like I said, I watched the videos, saw the pictures, and it didn't do it justice, man. I got to tell you, I was scared, and I think that anybody that goes up there, especially for their first time, is rightfully in fear. I mean, unless you're one of those free climbers that climbs El Capitan without ropes, you're one of those type of people, which are far and few between. You're going to be in fear of your life going up those cables. There's no question about it, or you're just lying. 18 of us went. Only 4 did not go up the cables the whole way and reach the summit. And like I said, it was scary, and I tip my hat for those just making it all the way up to the summit or up to the cables, because it was quite a hike, quite a brutal hike. Ended up being 5,300 and some change in total elevation gain. So that's no That's no easy accomplishment. That's quite a hard hike. 16.2 miles, 5,700 feet in total elevation, accumulated gain. I think we based out 8,700 feet is where the summit is. And then, you start realizing just how dangerous this park is. When 2 weeks before we were there were 2 climbers that died from El Capitan that fell, one on a Friday and one on a Saturday. It was back-to-back deaths. And then 2 kids drowned They were swimming in an area they weren't supposed to be swimming and got pulled over the falls, and they still have yet to find one of the kids' bodies. So it's a pretty dangerous park. Mother Nature is nothing to take lightly, that's for sure. And I guess one of the interesting things, we were coming down off the summit, and you know, I'm trail running, and if you know me, you know I love the trail run downhill. I love going downhill. So we make it past the log jams at the falls, and it was kind of me and Peter that were leading the downhill descent, and we're down past the falls and maybe the final 2 miles out to the trailhead area, and I'm trail running, and I end up rounding a corner, and I see this backpacker collapse, and immediately these two girls, young girls, probably 16, 17-ish, were performing CPR on this guy. One was pumping at the chest, the other one was blowing into him. And then I had agreed to run for help all the way out to the remaining part of the trail, out to the trailhead, which was approximately 3/4 of a mile maybe. And so, you know, I ran out, flagged down some Yosemite workers, maintenance workers that were in the truck as soon as I got out. Meantime, I'm yelling down the trail for, you know, people to call 911. And keep in mind, cell phone is very spotty. Cell phone ranges in here extremely spotty. Can usually only get out text messages at best, and it didn't matter who you were with, Verizon, Sprint, AT&T. It just was sporadic at best. So I don't know if anybody, you know, was going to successfully get through on a 911 call. So I continued to run out, flag down a worker, two workers in a pickup truck who radioed into some rangers. Mark and Rick, who were about 10 to 15 minutes behind me, had mentioned that when they got to that guy on the trail, there had already been rangers that were to him and taking over the CPR duties. I don't know if the guy lived or died. We do know that he got helicoptered out. Approximately 45 minutes later, you could hear the helicopter landing, type of thing. I've tried to contact the park unsuccessfully. No response back to them. You know, just curious if this guy lived or died. Anyhow, moving on to the next hike. And by the way, thanks to all those who attended that, you know, the Half Dome hike. Amazing, unforgettable experience. We'll never forget that. The camaraderie we shared, the good times, the laughs, the dinners, etc., etc. Thank you to being a part of a special, miraculous weekend. Next time we're hiking is Clutch to Hutch on Saturday, July 13th. And here's the scoop on this. Timing is key. Do not take this lightly. We have got to leave on time. If you're not there, the bus is going to leave without you. And hopefully you can catch up. And I don't mean to be rude by this, but we've got to catch the 9 a.m. tram shuttle from Sabino Canyon, because they only run every 30 minutes. We've got to catch that 9 a.m. tram to take us out to our trailhead from where we're going to be hiking from there on into Hutch's Pool. So please, if you're going on that hike, please read the write-up. Please be on time. And like I said, it's imperative that we stay on time, or actually ahead of time, for this particular hike, where we're going to screw ourselves on the tram station. Cash only, bring cash only, bring cash only. They do not accept debit cards or Visa cards at the tram station for your tram tickets. And I guess that's about it. Have yourself a very productive week, and we'll see you.